Hey everybody, Crotalus here, and today I'm going to be starting a new series of videos called Jurassic Safari. And this is just driving around, darting dinosaurs. Riding. I'm not driving, just to make that clear. But you can see this is just Midwest Americana, farm fields, small towns in the Midwest US. So this is a look at what dinosaur spawns look like here. Now, full disclosure, this is pre-update, so pre the most recent update that dropped events, and this is also all recorded, at least the audio is recorded post filming, so I'm not actually actively narrating that. Just want a full disclosure there, the car audio might get in the way a little bit. But as you can see here, driving through a small town, and we've got a few things. You'll notice there's a lot more spawns generally now than what you're going to see in the first half of this video. And I'll try to provide a little bit of input on some of the dinosaurs, kind of mini dinosaur reviews as we go. So this is Wurosaurus, and it's one of my favorite dinosaurs, at least one of my favorite tanks, especially for stegosaurs. It's really good, and especially for a rare, it's really good. Right now, the game is so dominated by raptors that anything that can use a slowing move like Thagomizer that this thing has is really good. It also has 120 speed, which is really quite nice, and some decent armor on it too. So it's a good dinosaur, which is why I am ignoring some of these others. Although I think we're at a stop sign here, so why not dart an Undasuchus? And this is always a good dinosaur to dart because, of course, its DNA is used in 2 fusions, which are pretty accessible, especially to early game players. So you can use this dinosaur to fuse the Majundasuchus, Suchus or Suchus, I don't know, Majundasuchus and Iniasuchus, which are both really good early game hybrids. So that's really the main reason you would use Nundasuchus. You wouldn't use that thing, Suchomimus. You may see those in some places, but yeah, right now they're really bad. Maybe by the time you're viewing this video they won't be so bad in a future update, but if you're viewing this video anytime near when it was filmed, I'm going to guess that it's still pretty bad. Alright, so we're now on a bit of a bigger highway, moving along here. You can see the speed's going a little faster. You get on these higher speed roads and sometimes the stops and the dinosaur spawns don't keep up. But that right there is one of my favorites. I really like feathered dinosaurs because they're, you know, how they're supposed to be, mostly. And I also like theropods, small theropods, so this little Tanicolagrius is one of my favorites. And, you know, you always gotta love an underdog. This thing was horrible. We had it in our lowest carcass tier previously, and now it's I think it's all the way up to Survivor, actually. So it's got a little bit of a buff this last update. It's a now kind of a, you know, Raptor light. It doesn't have pounce, but it's got high speed and pretty good damage output. So gotta love that little thing. Yeah, so far the stops are keeping up pretty well here. Now we just had an article recently on MetaHub about some of the spawn mechanics in the game, and a lot of the dinosaurs that you're seeing on the map here are what we refer to as global spawns. You can find them just about everywhere. Now Tarbosaurus, that green monster right there, is not. Tarbosaurus is a local spawn, so this dinosaur only spawns in certain areas, which is part of the reason I'm darting it. The area that I live and a lot of the areas I spend time don't happen to be the areas that Tarbosaurus is spawn. So I'm always happy to get a chance to get some more Tarbosaurus DNA. Now, another thing you'll notice throughout this video is that I often go for dinosaurs that are below level 10. Keep in mind right now the only way you can get experience in the game is by leveling up and fusing, evolving, all that good stuff, your dinosaurs. So even though it costs quite a bit of coins to do that, especially as you get to higher levels, it's generally worth it if you have the coins to try to get your dinosaurs up to or near level 10. So if there are dinosaurs that I don't really plan on using or don't like that much, and they're below level 10, I will still sometimes dart them, but once I hit level 10 I pretty much ignore them and don't even try to dart them, because there's always the chance something cool might spawn while you're trying to dart it. And this, you can see right here, this really is not as barren as it looks. There should be supply drops, there should be dinosaurs, but when you travel at high speeds the game has trouble keeping up. So it's great that you can still travel as a passenger, like, you know, right now my wife's driving for me, so I can freely ride along and catch dinosaurs, but you do have to be aware that when you're on an interstate or a highway like this, things are going to lag and it's going to be a little less productive. So if you're strapped for battery, or, you know, phone battery, or you don't have unlimited data, you might be aware that maybe playing on interstates and highways is a little wasteful. And here we have another Tanicolagrius. I could dart these things all day. I love these little dinosaurs. Like I said, mine actually is a little under-leveled, which is part of the reason I'm so desperate for more Tanicolagrius DNA. I see all these computer players in the arena wielding level 20 Tanicolagriuses and destroying whole teams, and I want to do that. So I'm working on trying to get my Tanicolagrius up to battling levels. But I think, as you'll see here in a minute, I've still got a little ways to go. 11's not bad, but a few more levels would be good. Look at this guy. Look at him. He's smiling. I can't get him. He knows it. Next time, buddy. Next time. You wait. So you can see here the interstate highway spawns and dinosaurs are keeping up a little bit better. Supply drops too, so I'm not hitting that same lag. I don't know what causes it. You can see ahead of me things haven't developed yet, but there we go. Everything just caught up, so that's good. I'm still holding off on darting a lot of the dinosaurs just in case something better comes along. Something like a rare, like a Dimetrodon, even though I don't use this dinosaur, that's not a dinosaur, in Arena, it still is useful for its fusions and hybrids. And rares are just substantially harder to come by compared to commons, that even if it's a rare I don't use, if it's something I think I could use DNA for, I usually dart it, with a few exceptions. But Dimetrodon's a pretty useful synapsid. I won't call it a dinosaur. Let's be accurate here. So check this out, we have a Tarbosaurus, but right next to the Tarbosaurus there's a Diplocaulus. These are both now local spawns. Diplocaulus, when it was first released just a few weeks ago, it was a global spawn, and a pretty common one too, one of the most common, right up there with Nundasuchus, and now it is a local spawn, and it spawns in the same zone Tarbosaurus does. I predict that Ludia is going to do this as they release new dinosaurs. When a new group of dinosaurs gets released, I think what they're going to do is make one of the commons kind of a featured dinosaur. It'll be really common, just like Nundasuchus is all the time, globally, everywhere, all the time, for a short amount of time until the next wave of dinosaurs gets released. So Sarcosuchus is currently in that place right now, and I think once the next wave of dinosaurs comes out, Sarcosuchus will become a local spawn just like Diplocaulus did before. So Tarbosaurus is kind of an interesting dinosaur. It is, as any common, or as most commons, it's not terribly useful late game, but it has this neat 40% critical chance, which is kind of cool. And, you know, it's pretty massively outclassed by Tyrannosaurus, but that 40% crit can be fun, and you can get lucky and get some surprise kills that you might not expect using it. Alright, so this was the most exciting part of this whole trip. In this little neighborhood, I found enough Gorgosaurus to finally complete a hybrid that I've wanted to complete for quite a long time. It takes Gorgosaurus and it takes Caprosuchus to create Gorgosuchus. And I had lots of Caprosuchus DNA because they spawn near my house, but Gorgosaurus I don't see quite as often. So there he is, in all of his glory. Or I guess she. If we're still going with the Jurassic sort of mythology, then these should all probably be she's. She's a pretty dinosaur. I mean, I guess it's half dinosaur and half crocodilian type thing, but whatever it is, I really like the look of this dinosaur a lot. And of course, I had to take my new dog, or dinosaur, out for a walk at the lake. And then while you're at the lake, why not go for a little paddle out on the old kayak? So I brought her along for that too. Yeah, I really love the design of this dinosaur. Unfortunately, for late game players, it just doesn't seem to be terribly useful. So I'm a little bummed about that. Alright, and on the return trip, so we were just going to see some family and now we're coming back, this was actually post-update. So this gives you a look at how much things have changed, and it may not be terribly obvious because in some of these areas, we're going back over the same route, and in some of these areas I didn't even bother turning the video camera on, or I didn't even bother recording, because there just weren't any stops and there were very few dinosaurs. But now, it's clear that the game has been brought almost back to where it was when it first launched at first beta, with quite a few stops, even in these rural areas. So I'm really glad to see that. I think Ludia listened to player concerns and really kind of kicked their game up a notch. So this is great. I won't bore you with too much video of just spinning supply drops, but I was happy to see so many supply drops in a very, very rural area. This looks similar to what the first little clip at the start of this video showed, just farm fields and a few houses here and there. But very lively in terms of drops and dinosaurs. Alright, so in this area we have a local spawn zone that's going to spawn a lot of I can't say that dinosaur's name. Anyway, here's a Triceratops. Triceratops is actually a good dinosaur on two levels. One, if you just have Triceratops and you've got quite a few in the area, it can be a fun dinosaur if you have luck on your side, because all of its moves, I believe every single one of its moves, can stun the opponent. And a lot of those are kind of luck-based, but you can really annoy people, or be really annoyed by this dinosaur if it stuns you. The other thing is, of course, it's half of the fusion dinosaurs you need for Stegoceratops, which is currently a great dinosaur to have in this game. And nothing. Nothing else. Oh, there's the stuff. So even at a slightly lower speed than highway speeds, you can still have a little lag. Alright, we're coming into another little town here, and I talked about spawns and spawn mechanics. If you look at the MetaHub article I have linked in the description below, you can get a lot more details on that, but we're seeing more Diplocaulus here. I talked about how Diplocaulus and Tarbosaurus are in the same zone, so I believe that these spawn points, as we described, have tags associated to them, and those tags then determine what dinosaurs are able to spawn from them. So in this area, I believe that most of these points are getting kind of a tag that dictates these are part of Zone 2. That Tenontosaurus also is part of the same group of dinosaurs that spawn alongside Tarbosaurus, Diplocaulus. If we were really lucky, we could see maybe a Rajasaurus or Sinoceratops in here, or even Notapatosaurus. But no luck on those today. However, this is the first sneak peek I got. I guess not sneak peek because it was live, but the first peek that I got at the new event, and of course that's been running for about a week now, and will continue into, or at least it's been running through this last week and will continue into next week. And so I'll have another video coming out hopefully in the next few days about that. So look forward to seeing that, and thanks for checking in. But one last thing, we had to come back and get a little revenge. I don't see him smiling now. This is the music I wish played in the game every time you darted these little goofy running amphibians, because to me, this is what always plays in my head, and it's hilarious. Alright, thanks for watching everybody. Let me know what you thought of this new video format, and look for my next in-depth dinosaur review coming up this weekend in the next couple of days.